Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Me, I'm not doing particularly bad. You may wonder, where am I at today in this dirty, very dingy floor? I'm in an abandoned house that's next to an abandoned beer distributor. Yes, the reason why I'm in here is because I figured I'd just do this little documentation video, tell you some history, do some exploring. We had to be very quiet because there are a bunch of no trespassing and private property signs up, so I'm not technically allowed or supposed to be in here. I don't think I'm going to get hugely in trouble. The cops really don't stop by here too often. Plus, I already think there's someone squatting here, so I'm being very careful because, again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff can happen for real. So, yeah, plus I don't want to be in this house long because I think that's cracked asbestos and there's mold and stuff in here. But, yeah, give you some history on this house. There's an abandoned beer distributor right next door here. That's that. Oh, my God, that curtain did not want to open. That's that big building right there. We're going to go explore that after I get out of here. Just show you some stuff. What's in here? Wow, look at this, everybody. An abandoned fireplace. This must have been the living room, I guess. And I guess this was the dining room, maybe? I thought that over there would be the living room, but no. So this must have been like the living room, maybe a den. Look at that old phone. Wow, that's awesome. I would love to take that, but it's not mine, even though the owners of this house would probably not even care or even notice that it's gone. I'm going to shut that door because that door is shut. We'll take a little walk in here real quick. It appears as the upstairs has fallen in and it's down here. It smells like mold very bad in this room. There's some old stuff, old bathroom supplies. This toilet's actually in here still. Wow, the toilet that's on the other side is not. That phone would be so awesome to have because it's old and stuff, but I don't know. Comment. Think I should take it? No. It's not my property, even though the owners are, maybe it's most likely going to end up getting thrown away. Hey, maybe if I see them tearing it down, maybe I'll come in and say, hey, can I possibly have that phone in there? This bathroom, that floor is not going to hold my fat ass. Yeah, floor's falling in there too. All the curtains were left. So to give you some history on this place, this was the old Epp's Beverage. It's pronounced Epp's Beverage House. It's a beer distributor in Limerick, Pennsylvania. They are still open. They're actually right across the street. It ended up being closed because the people, when the mother died that lived here, the siblings could not agree on what they wanted to do. So yeah, that's what happened to this place. Really should not be in here right now because it very nice. I don't know if you can say. I guess that leads to the basement, which no way. You could not pay me $1 million to go in that basement. Even if I had guns and a bunch of friends with me and we all had weapons, I still would not do that. What is that, a broken light bulb toothbrush? I really shouldn't be going up here either, but, the ethics of breaking the rules, am I right? Wow. And this floor does not sound like it can hold me whatsoever. Yeah, you know what? I'm getting very, very creeped out tones. Plus, these stairs feel like they're gonna fall in, so I'm getting off these as soon as I possibly can. I'm fat, old, and slow, so can't hold me up well. But yeah, pretty cool house. I'm gonna actually get out of here before cops get called on me or something. Door was open when I came. Just shut a little bit, not all the way though. Oh shit. Yeah, house is clearly, it's in bad shape. Not as bad shape as I thought it would be in. You'd think it would be in much worse for being abandoned since the early 90s. This has been empty since 2009, and the house has been empty since the early 90s. So you think it would be in much worse condition, but it's actually not in that bad of condition. Sorry about the quality of this video, everybody, by the way. Yeah, so this property, it's been empty for years. The new Epp's Beverage is actually right across the street there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, really should not be back here. Actually, a fellow YouTuber, the Retro Rest Stop, used to be Cinema Sickness. He did a video where he came up to this property. He's local still. Well, he moved to Florida, so he's not local anymore, but he was born in this area and lived in this area for years. Yeah, this is one of our, one of them cool abandoned sites that are not too far from my house. My house is a 3-4 minute walk from here, 30-second drive. Yeah, it's not bad. Maybe a 2-minute bike ride. Yeah. I could actually, if I truly wanted to, you get inside this building because the freezer door's open, but horror movie, am I right? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, something along those lines. Yeah, so, the reason why a lot of people are shocked that no one's torn this down yet, because these buildings, especially the old beer distributor, this was a beer distributor where they sold beer and alcohol, obviously, but they also sold cigarettes and lottery tickets and cigarettes and tobacco and soda and milk and all kinds of things were sold here. A lot of people wonder why this hasn't been knocked down, none of this has been built. They've tried putting housing developments back here. They've tried putting a shopping center. They even tried putting a Walmart and a Costco over in a Home Depot. They wanted to tear these buildings down and knock down all the woods. They wanted to tear down every single one of these buildings and keep the old beer distributor, but renovate it into a garden house, and then Walmart, Home Depot, Costco, and I believe a Wendy's. And this right here, I don't know if that's from all them beer and soda cans, if that's from someone living down there or kids partying, or if that's actually from the actual beer distributor. I don't know. This shut down in 2009. I only remember being in this beer distributor once when I was a little kid. I'm only 19, so let's see, I was 4, maybe 3, depending if it was before April. I can't remember. I just remember going to get Yoo-Hoo from here, and I have to be careful because last time I was back here, there was a giant hole that I doubt has been filled in yet. This is just the back of a garage. I'm also being careful and watching out for snakes because this is pretty grown over. Yeah, like I said, I'm very tempted to take that phone, but it's not mine, and I don't want to do that. It's disrespectful, even though it's never going to be used or anything. But yeah, just look back here. There's like an old, I guess that's an old pump house or something, an old staircase right there. Maybe it's an old shed. I don't know what that is. Obviously there was power going to it at one point. It's caved in. And back here we've got more abandoned stuff. That's the back of the house that we were just in, and that's honestly creepy right there, everybody. I don't know if you can see that because that curtain was fully shut, I swear, when I was just up there. So yeah, so I'm assuming that room where the fireplace was built on, because I don't understand why there'd be 2 living rooms. So I'm assuming it was built on. I just have to be very careful. If you can see, there's actually marks, because a little over a year ago they had a bunch of like steamrollers and bobcats and wrecking balls and stuff out here, and a bunch of equipment, because these were all going to be torn down. But the township said no, not happening. Traffic is already a nightmare on this road. That was the first reason why they said that. And 2, there's so many small businesses in this area. If you build something big, it's going to take it out. So yeah, the property continues to be sold left and right, and no one can ever build on it. So I think they're allowed to tear the stuff down. I might be wrong. Maybe it's grandfathered in. This is some pretty old stuff here, but they are not allowed to they're not allowed to build on this property. So once it's gone, I think it's gone. The house might be grandfathered in because it was built in the 20s. We're in Pennsylvania, so Pennsylvania has some weird laws, like with grandfathering in and stuff. Yeah, here is a old dog house, it looks like. Wow, that's awesome. I wish I could have that too. That's an old, what is that? That's an old clothesline on top there. It must have been taken down. Wow. Yeah, that's an old dog chain. Wow, that's crazy. Because there's the other piece of the clothesline that was left up. I guess that either fell down or they took it down. But yeah, this property it's so old. I hope they don't tear it down. I'd rather see it get renovated. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the plan is. I actually don't even know who owns this property. I really shouldn't be back here right now because, as you see that sign, private property, no trespassing. But they're not as strict back here as they are like at Penhurst or anything like that. And plus, I'm not taking nothing. I'm not vandalizing anything. I'm not breaking into anything like that. The house doors, all 2 of them were unlocked and the one was open. So it's not like I didn't do that. Yeah, there's definitely been somebody in here though, because on my old channel before I got banned, yeah, it's a whole story. But on my old channel, went upstairs and both doors were open. Now they're both shut. And the front door was open, but the 2 other doors are locked. Now they're unlocked. So yeah, somebody has definitely been in the house. I'm hoping it was an owner. I'm hoping there wasn't somebody doing harm, but there's feces in the thing. I'm not going to show that on YouTube. But yeah, so I think there's probably some maybe some squatters living out here. Maybe a teenagers thinking they're funny. I don't know. Yeah, here's an old garage right here, and this looks like it's on its last leg. From the looks of it, the building looks like it's in the worst condition is the beer distributor building itself. The entire back end of the roof has caved in, and the front of the roof you can tell is starting to leak. Yeah, so Epps Beverage, it moved across the street in 2009. Yeah, and it's been closed ever since. Sorry, it's very hot out here, and I'm very fat, and I just got back from the gym, walking back, so kind of do have an excuse. What does this open up? I wonder if this opens up. Wow, it does. See, that's really cool, actually. That must open up and go to something. I have no clue how you access the basement because I didn't see any doors for the basement inside the house. So it must be one of them old basements that you can only go outside. And like, look at that. This is some creepy ass shit because that curtain was closed on that side when I was just in there 5 minutes ago, and now it's open. Creepy stuff. Creepy stuff.